Hi everyone, Barbara Scarlett here with your latest market update for Fort Erie and the Niagara Region as of September 25th, 2024. Whether you are thinking of buying, selling, or investing, this is your go-to spot for everything real estate in Niagara. And of course, make sure to stay until the end of the video where I have some exciting news about open houses that I'd like to invite you to. So before I break down this week's market activity, what I see happening in our local market right here in Niagara are out-of-town buyers. They are on the prowl. If you are a listing agent in Niagara, what's happening right now is your cell phone is going off with nonstop calls throughout the day from out-of-town numbers, people that are not in our contacts. They're calling about our listings. I see this as a signal. This is buyer activity signaling me. The buyers are concerned that if they don't take action soon, they are going to be looking back on this market and wishing they had. Now let's dive right into this past week's activity numbers. I want you to listen closely to the market stats because whether you live in Fort Erie right now or in the Niagara region, or you're thinking of moving to the Niagara region, you're going to want to know what's happening in your marketplace. So stay with me. I'll make this quick and painless because we are seeing some subtle shifts that are happening throughout the Niagara region. Fort Erie, currently, there are 449 active listings in Fort Erie with 67 new homes coming on the market over the past week. In terms of solds, well, Fort Erie had 10 sales in the past 7 days. If we zoom out in the last 30 days, we had 41 homes sell. The average price in Fort Erie right now sits at $524,900 over the past 7 days, and homes that sold spent an average of 58 days on the market. The average price point took a bit of a dip this week compared to last. However, last week the average days on market was 102, so that's looking better. In Niagara Falls, a healthy 557 homes are on the market with 60 new listings coming to market over the past 7 days. 18 sold in the past 7 days, bringing the average price point there to around $668,500. St. Catharines, a total of 672 active listings, 123 have sold over the past month. Average prices there are at $668,000 roughly, a solid market for both buyers and sellers. Port Colborne Wainfleet saw 25 homes sell in the past 30 days. The average price sitting at $746,667 during that selling period. Homes are taking around 66 days there to sell. Font Hill, Pelham are holding that status as our luxury market here in our area at 1.15 million, with 22 homes selling in the past 30 days. Welland, Lincoln, Thorold are all showing strong markets too, with prices averaging around $539,000, $910,000, $498,000 respectively. If you take all these numbers and you mesh them together, you will find that all these locations throughout the Niagara region, an average price of around $754,000, with 118 homes selling in the past 7 days in those locations and 460 over the past month. Thanks for staying with me. So, what does this mean for buyers and sellers and investors? Well, last week brought some interesting shifts to the real estate world. The broader economy, let's take a look at that. Canada's inflation rates dropped 2%. Yes, inflation is now at 2%, which is a significant drop from last year. Economists predict that this will lead to interest rate cuts in the near future once again. Maybe we will even see more of an aggressive drop in October, like a quarter, instead of this quarter basis point we've been seeing. That's good news. If you're planning to finance a purchase, as interest rates lower, it means mortgage payments are lower and it increases your affordability. However, the biggest contributor to inflation is still shelter costs. Mortgage interest rate costs have grown, but at a slower pace this year over last. This slowing down of the inflation could give the Bank of Canada more confidence to reduce that rate, and maybe even we'll see a half a basis point cut. Looking back on inflation, It was at 7% in August of 2022, and we've seen a steady decline to the current 2%. As the Bank of Canada prepares its next meeting in October, there is certainly a high chance that we'll see a more aggressive rate cut. For buyers, that's great news because it will likely push mortgage rates down, which will increase your buying power. For sellers, this might mean that the buyer's activity will pick up, so now might be the perfect time to think about listing your property. In addition to rate cuts, some important policy changes are coming in December of 2024 that will affect buyers. The Canadian government is increasing the price cap for insured mortgages to 1.5 million. What does this mean for you? Well, you'll be able to purchase homes over $1 million with a lower down payment and still have access to insured mortgages, which is often providing a better rate for you. On top of that, first-time home buyers, new builds will soon be eligible for 30-year amortizations, which means lower monthly payments and increased affordability. That's great news if you're just entering the market or want to invest in a new property, of course. Buyers and sellers, here are my top recommendations for buyers. With interest rates likely dropping in the next month again and more lenient mortgage policies on their way, it's a great time to get pre-approved and start seriously looking at properties. Prices in Fort Erie, Niagara Falls, St. Catharines are stable, so you won't be competing in a frenzy because it's still a seller's market in some of these areas. Timing is so key when you're buying real estate. For sellers, if you've been waiting to list, now is a good time to get in front of this increased buyer activity before the market becomes oversaturated with listings. Staging and pricing correctly will help you stand out from your competition, because if you're in Fort Erie right now, there's competition. We have over 9 months of inventory still. For investors, keep your eyes on the days on market and absorption rates. There are still deals to be had with 9 months worth of inventory in Fort Erie. Don't be afraid to write an offer. You never know what the seller is going to take. Finally, I'd love to invite you to some open houses this weekend. Come and see these great properties in person. I will be at 14 Brookfield Court in Fonthill this Saturday, September 28th from 12 to 2, and at 205 Murray Street in Fort Erie on Sunday, again from 12 till 2. I'll be there to answer any of your questions about these properties, about the market. I'd love to help you find your next home. Thanks as always for watching. If you found this market update helpful, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for the latest trends and tips as you're navigating the real estate market here in Niagara. I'm Barbara Scarlett, and I'll see you next time.